Hello and welcome to the House of Royale, honey. We are finally shooting episode 23, and before I get started, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that like button, comment, share, tell all of your friends. Today, I have such a special, wonderful, beautiful guest. She is an intuitive coach, a spiritual healer. She will take your life and make it flourish like a garden of beautiful roses, okay? And she is also an actress, you guys, a professionally trained Ivy League actress. You can see her in commercials, TV shows, movies, the whole thing. Go check out her IMDb. Everyone, please welcome Maria Shapley. Hi, Maria.
Hey, Michelle.
How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm so happy to have you here. This is round 2.
Yep, we got this.
We got this. We're finally doing it right. We have camera 1, camera 2. The mics are working.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We're going live. We're live on TikTok.
Yep.
Let's get started. I want you to just deep dive into your world and tell the people what you're all about. Everyone needs help and inspiration right now. The holidays can be super brutal for a lot of us, including me. So just give us a deep dive into the work that you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So as an intuitive coach, I help people identify their blocks and clear them so they can make positive choices and changes in their life. From doing like many years of work in self-development, I've learned that connecting to the light really transforms your life. The light really transforms your life. And so by learning different tools and modalities, it's really changed my life. It's changed my clients. When it comes to dealing with the holidays, that's a whole nother topic, whole nother story.
Yeah.
Because stress can like really impact you. Like when you're not really present with your loved ones and you're feeling anxious or stressed, that can really take away from the present moment. Mm-hmm. And I know that by just slowing down your breathing and just being present, like where you are, being grateful and thankful, and just knowing that I will never get this moment ever again. Right?
Yeah. I want to talk about that really quick. Yesterday, I was talking to my friend Samantha about this because she's in a similar lane as you. She does public speaking on, healing the soul and all of that stuff, and sobriety, all of that. Yesterday, I was so ecstatic about life. Like I was in such a great mood, and I took class from Samantha, and it was like gorgeous. It was just a gorgeous facility. The location was beautiful, right? Mm-hmm. Like it was like the perfect day. Yeah. But now that I'm in a more mature place with what goes on with our bodies and our emotions, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Don't have expectations though, because life is a roller coaster and you never know what's going to happen for the rest of the day. And lo and behold, we had a conversation with a male. Mm-hmm. And usually when I talk to men, like 85% of the time, it kind of knocks me off my joyous,
right. Oh boy. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so all I did was observe my energetic field, and I observed how it was changing my emotions.
Wow.
And instead of getting sad or upset, I took a step back and I was like, just pretend that this is a video game or that this is a simulation, and that this is almost like a reptilian coming in to try to attack you to see what you're going to do.
Ooh.
And so that's kind of how I dealt with the shift from my joy to fight or flight.
Amazing. I love that.
So yeah, because life is always going to be up and down.
Life is going to be up and down, and it's having tools that we can use at our disposal instead of reacting and like what you did, use the simulation. of I'm going to choose to respond. I'm going to pause for a second and respond because do I want to detonate the situation or diffuse it? You know?
Yeah. And being a woman, we usually like to light things on fire,
Right?
just
Like,
burn it all down.
yep.
But I chose to stay. I mean, I chose to kind of like participate in the high octane energy of the conversation.
Okay.
But as I was getting into my car and driving home, I was like, okay, let's begin the process of coming back to one and coming back home to oneself, like that happy place. And I knew that it was going to take me a minute to get there because I am such an empath and I'm so emotional and I completely absorb other people's stuff. So I was like, you know what? It's okay. Just like let it roll through your body and just we're going to sage when we get home and do all the things.
Perfect.
And that's what I did.
And that's amazing that you're so in tune with your body and you can recognize the people who come into your space and how is this person affecting my energy? How do I feel around this person? And when you notice something's off, how you can take a step back or even protect yourself. And something that I do and I teach my clients is if you are feeling like someone is affecting your energy or you feel like you need some protection or clearing, seriously, bring in light as much as you can into your heart and send the light out. The more light you bring in and send out will protect your field.
Yeah.
And as far as saging goes, which is great, when you get home, imagine white light coming into your space and like any of that guy's energy. If you feel like it got on you in any way, just return to sender.
Yeah.
You know, return to sender.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I had to remember whenever people come to us with high intensity, it's because we are giving them a safe space to do that, which can be great, but it can also be a burden when we have such like a light to give and people love to share, you know? And so it's kind of like, okay, I was talking to Samantha about this too. She brought up the word discernment and how much of herself she is willing to give away. Especially coming into 2024, she's like, because, you know this, you're a coach, you're a teacher. And it's kind of like when you take on another person's stuff, it's like you best know how to have the tools to survive that because it's a lot. Yeah. So like as a healer, did it take you a minute to learn how to talk about that?
Yeah. Part of my story is I've gone from one abusive relationship to the next and constantly being around people who were not valuing me or putting me down. And you know, and that's why I had been so passionate about exploring different modalities of healing. I learned when I finally learned the modality I use now, I know how to use discernment. I know how to do things to protect myself.
Right.
And to not choose better
perspective
people.
almost.
Perspective.
Yeah.
And to know, you know, and it's like if someone's not respecting you, instead of you kind of see your old patterns and those old patterns go away and you create new ones. You're like, well, hey, if this doesn't make me feel good, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like millennials definitely bring up the fact that Gen Z is kind of like, oh, we're not going to do anything you guys did. Like, they're kind of like, you guys have to pay me for everything. And I'm not like, Gen Z kind of they're almost overcorrecting where they're just like, whatever I do is going to be live streamed and monetized.
Right.
You know? And it's almost like it is changing the landscape of show business and Hollywood and kind of like that old school the old school brick and mortar that Hollywood built is like finally being dismantled because back in the day it was kind of like you take any opportunity, you do whatever it takes, and even if you're not being real to yourself, you have to like, you know, kiss people's asses or like all of the things like the way that people used to network in show business. These days, it's almost like the energetic shift is so loud and like screaming in our faces that it's kind of like most of us that have done the work, our bodies won't even allow us to even be in that space anymore.
It's really true. Yeah.
As an actress, do you feel like you feel differently about the industry now than when you first started?
I would say so. I mean, I started, what, 10 years ago, and it's been big difference, especially that we can do self-tapes now and be from the
Yes.
comfort of our home and just submit auditions instead of, going, you still do go into auditions or a space, whatever.
Yeah.
But I would say we have more authority
Yeah.
over ourselves and what we can choose, and that we don't have to do just accept anything.
Mm-hmm.
We can choose, we can create our own content.
Yes.
Like, it's a free will, it's free will choice. We can really create whatever we want.
Yeah. Do you feel like in order to become a big time actress, you have to be a Nepo baby or be born into like a family that has major connections? Because, I mean, I'll just say for myself, I think that it's still very much so in a space of like, if you have the money and the connects, it's way easier for sure, because it's not necessarily based on who is the most talented. Because it's like if you have 10 girls auditioning for the same part and everyone looks similar and they're all really good, it's kind of like, well, that's Uma Thurman's daughter, so we should probably use her
Right.
for the clout. I really do truly believe that it's still like that. However, that does not mean that we can't, there is room for everyone, right?
Oh, definitely. There definitely is. I think, yeah, having the connections definitely helps. And that's why networking in your industry, creating your own content, really putting yourself out there, letting yourself be known is going to give you that foot in the door. If you're not taking action, you're not going to get much results. But of course, it helps coming from money or coming from connections.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But there is room for everyone. No matter where you come from, no matter what your story is, you can create success in your life.
Okay, now I know, speaking of success, I know that you wanted to get into the business side of things, which honey, I am about to embark on being a legitimate small business owner.
Yes, I love it.
A female operated and owned small business. So what are the tools and tips? Like, I'm the perfect example because I'm just now starting out to manifest what you truly want and how to manifest like my goals, as we were speaking earlier, like the 12-week goals. What are like your number one, like your top advice for anyone out there who is going to book a session with you? And so am I. After I make my first $1,000, I'm going to book a session with you.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. I would want you to visualize and see for yourself, what do you want to see happen for yourself in the next 3 months? What is the picture that you have in mind? What are you doing? Where are you? So, like, bring that to thought.
Right. Yeah.
And then as you see yourself entering in that picture and living that dream life, what are some of the stories that come in the way? What are those limiting beliefs, those stories? And as you're moving forward, to clear them. So I would say, say you are feeling frustrated or you're feeling overwhelmed. I would have you do a process of, like, this is more of like a session, more of the inner work, because as you're moving forward, to do the inner work is so essential.
Yeah.
So I would say, always connect to the light. The light transforms your life. So always being connected, bringing in the light. And as you're moving forward, you have a plan of what you want to do. Right now, I'm feeling overwhelmed or frustrated. I would say, okay, what's the first time you've ever felt overwhelmed or frustrated? And you'd have a number. Who did you get it from? Your mom, your dad, yourself, or someone else? Where do you feel it in your body? And then you'd bring in the light and you'd clear the energy and move forward. And you would feel that kind of start to slowly dissipate. So that's how you do the inner work side of things. As you're moving forward towards your goal, write it down. Write down your 3-month goal.
Yeah.
And take action towards it every day.
As an ADHDer, I have like major ADHD. So writing things down is number one for me. Laundry, it took me weeks to finally then do like 4 loads of laundry this morning.
Okay.
And the reason why I didn't want to do it is because I have PTSD from going into the laundry room and seeing like a weird man.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So like that's where my struggle comes from, is like, if I create the Patreon, am I going to have a bunch of weird dudes? Like, for me personally, everything tracks back to like, is a man going to hurt me or scare me, or, you know what I mean? Which at some point, it's like, I know I got to let that go and just be like, look, girl, you got to get the laundry done. You got to do the Patreon.
Yeah. Yep.
And as I was telling you, looking at my TikTok analytics, hello TikTok, right now it's definitely like older men looking at me, which obviously my goal is to get the girls up on here. My goal is to get the girls, you guys. I need y'all because we're taking over.
Yeah.
So yeah, the light and like feeling protected and feeling safe is definitely my jam. Like, I have to feel safe in order to do the task.
So I would say before any task, you can send energy into it. So you can use a statement called, what would it take? What would it take for this task to be really easy? What would it take to feel really safe when I meet with this person? What would it take to attract people into my life that make me feel safe? What would it take to attract the right alliances?
Yeah.
When you set the intention, you draw that experience closer to you. Like, before I start my day, any day, seriously, I connect to the light.
Yeah.
I really do. And I say, what would it take to bring this into my day? What would it take by the end of the day that I feel this, and that?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I reflect back and I'm like, I got everything I wanted.
Amazing. Exactly. Yes. It's science. I was just listening to Nikki Glazer talk about this.
Okay.
For those of y'all who don't know Nikki, she's an amazing comedian and we love her. Get into it, okay? Get into Nikki Glazer. She was like, honestly, I don't even know what else I would want to ask for at this point in my life.
Nice.
But she does deal with depression, but she's so successful. And she finally is in a healthy relationship. She's doing really well. And she's like, okay, this is what I want. I want my next special to be award winning. And I want Taylor Swift to personally message me and send me a thank you note. And then she spoke it like it had already happened.
Yes.
Which is another beautiful tool that I want to start using, is you're not lying to yourself. You're just speaking as if it has already happened, which, okay, fine. Like, it technically, maybe it is a lie, but I am going to start doing that. I also heard this exercise from Natasha, what's her face?
Okay.
I forget her last name.
don't know.
Graziano or something.
Okay.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's like believing.
Yes.
Because it's science.
So. To speak on belief a little bit, some other experts out there, Dr. Bruce Lipton, he's really great. He wrote The Biology of Belief, and he did many experiments to show how we are a construct of our belief systems.
Yeah.
Same with Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's amazing because, I mean, I'm paraphrasing a bit. I'm not a quantum physicist or anything, but if you look into the quantum side of things, so everything is energy. Everything's moving at a different vibration. Like, we're made up of the same stuff that everything else is.
Yes.
Just vibrating at a different frequency, made of just some slight differences, right? So when you produce a thought, you think a thought, it produces a feeling. And you draw that, you're going to continually align on that same vibration, if that makes sense, and draw similar experiences like that to you.
Yes.
So, like, think of a thought right now. Think of something that makes you really happy. Think of a sunset.
Okay.
Think of
I was thinking of a $300 million check, but but yeah, sunset, that's fine.
All right, take the sunset. Okay, let's do $300 million check.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Amen.
Got
And so it is.
$300 million check. What does that feel like?
finally. It feels good because I've been training my mind to be checking my bank account and going, oh, okay, like I'm used to having millions of dollars in there. It's not a scary thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calm. It's
Mm-hmm.
normal.
It's normal.
It's always been that way.
That's right.
It's not, the IRS is totally chill. They're not coming after me.
No, definitely. That's how you do it. So
Yeah.
when you think of, I have a $300 million check, okay, what does that feel like? It feels normal. It feels great. It feels safe. And like, I have plenty of money. And the words that you say constantly to yourself and your inner thoughts is what's going to continually create your reality. And if you want to make some like big shifts in your life, be really like dedicated to it, focus on it.
Yeah.
Especially in the morning and before you go to bed, when your brainwave is in that like relaxed place. Theta, alpha, theta.
Okay.
That's, and when you visualize and you think the thought, you feel the feeling, you're priming the subconscious mind to say that's truth. Because when you think something, the brain doesn't know the difference between a memory and a future thought.
Wow.
Doesn't know the difference. So keep visualizing.
That is so wild. Also, I want to bring up, going back to quantum physics, isn't it true? Because there's like 11 different dimensions on planet Earth, or like that we know of, like so many dimensions. And there are different timelines, and we exist in different timelines. We are visualizing that narrative, that life story, as we're jumping into that timeline and actually entering into that timeline. Right. Isn't it a fact that that's true?
Yes. Time is not linear.
Yeah.
Time is just always happening at once. And you can jump into a new timeline, right? So if I had in between my hands the timeline of, say, now until the next 20 years, you can kind of shift your timeline a little bit energetically, which sounds weird, whatever. Okay, so think of this. You start to jump into a new timeline through your feelings. So think of a time in your past when things weren't so good. Like feel the feeling of that. Right? And now think of jumping into your new timeline and what that feels like. So as you keep feeling the feeling, you're jumping into a new timeline.
Yeah. Yeah. And the frequency in my body, like I can feel the literal shift between those two memories. And it also, it is so true that it's almost like an addiction to, when we're talking about breaking bad habits and patterns, it's almost, well, it is an addiction to romanticize the pain and to like sit in that victim mentality, or which like, women are victims, okay? Like, I am not saying that we're not, because we are. But if you want some justice and if you want to like change it, it's pulling yourself up and out of that endless cycle of like, oh, I'm hurt. It's sad. It's awful. It's like, no. You're safe. You're successful. You are the hierarchy. We are the matriarchy, and we are taking it. Like, it's just changing, and just that right there, like breaking that bad habit.
Yeah, definitely. And you start to change it by changing the story. So if the storyline is women are victim, no, women are empowered.
Yeah.
Women are in charge. Women have authority. Women are cared for. So you start changing by changing your words. Your words have influence, your thoughts, your feelings. That is what's constantly molding and shaping your life. So if you're telling yourself a story that I'm not enough or I'm victim, you're going to keep recreating that same pattern. So start by saying a new story and then see how other things shift.
Yeah. Also, for me personally, I feel like as soon as I started the podcast, I felt like I finally had a voice, which is like so funny because as entertainers, people just assume, but you guys have voices because you're entertainers. It's like, not really though, because before I was spending my time on a microphone talking about my story, your story, all of our stories, I felt like I was basically just in the studio writing songs and recording music and then performing, and not really, no one knew who I was as a person. So now I'm like, Well, in that space, I didn't feel empowered. I
Interesting.
felt like I had this much power. But then once I started actually public speaking, because this basically that's what this is, all the power.
Interesting.
Yes, because I'm like, finally, you guys know who I am now. Like, you guys finally know the truth. And I don't feel silenced. And all of these men, all
Mm-hmm.
of the music men, I mean, the music industry is so vile and gross. And when you tell a friend, you're just telling a friend an old story that they've heard a million times before.
Yeah.
But now on this platform, it's like, no, 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 no. Like, we're actually doing something about it because it was a real problem, y'all. And it is a real problem. And all these documentaries coming out,
Mm-hmm.
just all these people going to jail, Diddy
Yeah.
getting called out with Cassie,
Yeah.
and Aubrey O'Day being a whistleblower.
Oh gosh.
And Aubrey is amazing because she is like the type of girl that you look at that gets judged for looking like a Playboy model or,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just this hot, attractive girl that's like, back in the day, men would be like, oh, this dumb da 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 is just running her mouth, right? That's like how we get spoken about. Well, at least in the music industry, we kind of get looked at as like who
Objects.
yeah, well, like who gave you permission to speak is
Okay.
how men kind of view these pop singer girls or like
Wow.
dancers or whatever. It's kind of like like how do you have the right to come out and like call all of us out? Like, what are you bringing to the table? It's like, okay, well, now we're bringing everything to the table and we're going to call y'all out because of what you did to us. So I just feel like instead of it being a rumor, now it's like, no, you can't play with us anymore.
That's right. Here's truth.
Yeah.
We have a platform now where you can't just get away with it. It's not cool. And so now we can be vocal.
Yeah. You are a very beautiful woman. And I think that like the film industry is a little bit different. And obviously you're doing everything yourself and you have just like, you're also an author. You've written 2 books. You have written a screenplay. So, I mean, right now you're probably in more of a place to like you feel so empowered in this moment that is also another reason why you're able to give of yourself as a coach, right?
Yeah.
What struggles are you dealing with in the industry, if any?
I would say in the past, I've definitely, met people, men who would maybe try to take advantage or be, yeah. And which actually steered me away from the industry. I was like, wow, this seems pretty dark. It's not something I want to be involved in. But now that I have really empowered myself, I've learned tools to help me heal my own stories and patterns. Like, why do I keep attracting these type of people into my life, or accepting bad behavior or whatever you consider bad behavior. So now as I'm going through the industry, which is can be a little bit strange, I have tools to be like, oh, nope, this person is actually good, can help me along my path. This person, no. I've trained my intuition to know what's a yes, what's a no, and what can really help me because no matter who you are in the industry, what you have to offer, I will never like be out of integrity with who I am because the possibilities are endless. There's so much that you can do without sacrificing your own needs.
I don't want to deal with the male ego. Just like, even yesterday, it's kind of like I knew that this man was upset because I didn't want him.
Oh my
You know what I mean? And it was just like this attitude and then going into a whole rant about like how LA is just becoming this like vapid, shallow. I'm like, well, it's always been, but like
right?
but just going off about how upset he is about how people treat him. And then about all of these like OnlyFans girls that come to his facility and they don't want to be with him. either.
I'm sorry.
And I'm just like, I literally feel like I'm sitting here getting yelled at because I don't want to have sex with you. Like, it's so nuts. And it's you know, he is the type of person that can provide, you know, opportunities with like celebrities and like people that have a lot of money and a lot of connections. And it's kind of like, yeah, if I was 20 years old and dumb, I would
Right.
totally just be bowing down and being like, oh my God,
Yeah.
right? It's so messed up. And instead, I was just like, you know what, guys? I really gotta go.
Good for you.
Like, I don't have time. Like,
No.
what is happening? Like,
Yeah.
I just, and in music too. So, anyway, let's get back to business. What are some other tools that we can utilize? Maybe like getting into more of like the granular aspect of, instead of like a general list of goals, like what can one do to manifest their business dreams?
To manifest your business dreams, I would definitely get clear on what is the dream that I have in mind. Like set a goal, say it's like a year goal, 6 month, 3 month. And what steps do I need to take in order to make that happen? And as you're going throughout life, going to achieve this goal, when emotions arise up, I would teach you tools to how to clear that, which I shared before. But it's setting yourself up with a foundation. So like I'm all about taking a leap of faith. Like you want to start a business, boom, go for it. Take the leap of faith.
Yeah.
And creating the foundation for yourself, that confidence of like, I got this, I can do it, I can make it happen. Relaxing your nervous system, because the way you feel, if you're operating from lack versus I have more than enough, that's going to be a little bit difficult. So as you're going about creating a new business, how am I feeling in this process? And reminding yourself like, hey, if I've done like what have I done in the past where I thought this is impossible to do?
Yeah.
And you did it. And knowing that if I want to do this, if I did that in the past, I can do this too. You know, and
Yeah.
having support system, having people who are like-minded, people who can be supportive and encouraging, that's having community is really important.
Yes. Let's say today I promised that I was going to create the Patreon. Now, before I open up my laptop, I have all this anxiety and I'm like, "Oh God. I'm probably not going to get subscribers, or I'm not going to make the money." Like, what do I do in that moment?
Okay, if you're in the moment, you're going to do a task and then you feel anxious about it or you feel frustrated, whatever your story is,
Yeah.
I would bring in the light. Seriously, this is how you clear your blocks. You bring in the light from above and below. It's before you do any type of energy work, because what we're doing, we're clearing the energy that keeps you stuck.
Yeah.
And so you would say, okay, all this anxiety that I feel where in my chest, bring in the light, and you're going to clear and transmute the anxiety across all time, dimensions, spaces, and realities. If you want to go even deeper, if the anxiety is still there, okay, what's the first age that I felt this anxiety? Who did I get it from? My mom, my dad, myself, or someone else? Bring in the light and clear and transmute it. Okay, and so then feel like, okay, if scale 1 to 10, my anxiety was at a 10, and now it's like, all right, it's at a 6 now. Great. I have to keep, because if you feel that stuck, you have to keep clearing it.
Do you know what else? I feel like I am so all about the visual. I'm like visual, auditory. Okay. So when I open up my laptop, I've already seen the homepage for Patreon.
Okay.
Okay. And it is not cute. It's not fun. What I want to do is I want to go look at Heather McDonald's Patreon page and CJ Sparks' Patreon page, and I want to go see what they're up to and how they did theirs.
Okay.
I need it to be hot pink. I need it to be purple, pastel. Like, I need the glitter. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally that crazy for me. Like, if it doesn't look
Yeah.
fun or like a good
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
my brain shuts down and I'm like, oh God, it's so sad and
Oh
depressing.
my gosh. Well, then you can create a Patreon that you want to make, right?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
But admin in general, like email, opening a piece of mail, like what even is mail? It feels like it is anxiety. It's just, oh my God. And you know what? Maybe it does stem from watching my mom run a business as a child, because it always felt like that's such an adult thing and that's so far away from my life. Like I don't connect to the admin, you know, like I can. Obviously, I'm good at it now, like, and I'm better, but I just have so much empathy and sympathy for those of us that really just get so blocked with the ADHD, the mental aspect of like there's a
Right.
glitch in our brain.
Right. Yeah, and that's how you like switch the glitch. You switch the glitch by connecting to the light and
Yeah.
clearing the energy, and then you say, "Okay, I'm just going to keep moving forward because by me staying in the stuckness and not seeing the end result, like maybe you have to do some things that may not be fun, like getting the website together, but then you add the pinks and the purples and the glitter.
Yeah.
And then by the end, you're like, okay, it was worth it.
Yes.
So doing the tedious task will get you what you want. Just like anything, the small changes that you do consistently over time will end up in a big result.
Yeah.
Whether that's with your health, working out, whether it's saving money, whether it's anything.
Yeah.
Being consistent.
Yeah. Also, the same thing goes with music. Like I was talking to Samantha about like what's your vocal chain, and she was like, well, what's that? And so I went on YouTube to find a sample for her, and there was a girl. Shout out to female music producers. There was a girl and her studio was like purple neon.
Ooh.
And like there was text explaining what a vocal chain is. And it looked so pretty and gorgeous. And when I sent it to Samantha, she immediately understood what it was.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Because it looked visually pleasing, as opposed to when you go on YouTube and there's some man on there going, okay, now you're going to press this button. And it's like just
Right.
like it drains my energy because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to look at this gnarly dude
Yeah, yeah.
explain this terrible task
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. No. No. Yeah, I'll take the pretty aesthetics.
Yeah, like I want to see a clip of your face explaining to me how to get through admin on YouTube, right?
Right.
Like then I would be like, okay, I can do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that too. Like everything you're saying, I'm gonna put on YouTube as like a short, like a
Okay.
20-second
Okay.
of Maria going, now, if you don't want to open your laptop, all you have to do is bring in the light and meditate and tell yourself that you can do it, okay? Like,
Seriously, yeah. Listen, think about what it will be like on the other side. You know, you have the Patreon going and, you know, like seeing that end result. Really blessing, always staying focused on the happy end result.
yeah. Okay, so just for funsies, let's both say out loud what is the current situation and how amazing it is. So, like, just like all of our wildest dreams. So, for me, I have a Patreon that fills my spirit with joy, and my subscribers are so supportive and loving. And they not only are helping me pay rent, but my Patreon family is about to help me buy my first house. And my TikTok family is about to help me buy my first house. And I have a supportive and loving partner who is really gorgeous. And he has a lot of money. And he's very supportive too. And he already has a big ass house. But I want my own house. And I also have a female production team. And we did a song that went viral and we won a Grammy. And I get to go to the Grammys with 3 girls as my date. And we won the Grammy. And I can still pay my mortgage every month because I'm doing what I love to do. And the community that I have built is all from love and from true resilience and belief. And so it is.
And so it is. I've got the chills for you.
Thank
Yeah. You're speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels good.
It does feel good. Yeah. And if you want to even energize it, you can like just imagine just sending energy into your thoughts. So if you were to like imagine like a ball of energy in between your hands and see this visualization going into this ball of like all the stuff that you were just saying, and you're just energizing it. So what are the things that I'm manifesting? My coaching business is thriving. I'm helping transform people's lives and helping them teach their intuition and really like create a life that they love. I'm public speaking to many people. I landed also like a really awesome like TV or film role that pays me like millions of dollars per year.
Woo!
Yeah. I am guest speaking on amazing podcasts like this and talk shows, whatever, just helping inspire and transform people's lives and giving back to humanity, community, my family, and living a life like beyond my most wildest dreams. Yay.
Yes. It feels so good. It feels so good. I feel so lifted, almost like I'm levitating, like the frequency.
Oh, I forgot the man part.
Oh yeah.
And
let us pray.
okay, guys, do you hear this? And I'm in the relationship of my dreams with a partner who is everything and more I could ever ask for. He is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Like best friend chemistry, sexual chemistry. It's fucking awesome. And we support each other. We help each other grow. And we have fun. We laugh and lots of sex and lots of fun.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Sex. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a whole nother thing, but even with dating, it's the same exact exercises. It's visualizing.
Like what kind of exercises?
Just the legs out. Yeah, no, but it's literally just knowing and believing because for me, the narrative with music and men has always been such a dark, and I don't want to go back there. Like I'm on a roll. I have built this brand new little world I'm in and I'm seeing the results. And it's just like, the thing is like, I know a lot of you guys already know about this and the secret and all of it, but it's literally the one thing that has to change is believing. And that's it.
It's the truth. It really is. Infusing, I believe I can, into everything you do. Belief is the magic ingredient.
Yeah.
Seriously. And you can change your beliefs through repetitive thoughts, repetitive words. Then those beliefs kind of like sink in there. It's like, oh.
It's so true.
Yeah.
I was just laughing because unfortunately, this is not gonna. I'm just thinking about the men, like the men just believing like that they're can get bigger or like something like that. That it's probably not gonna work for that, guys. Or like if you want to be taller or like but when we are talking about physicality, the thing that it will change is you do become noticeably different when you're in alignment.
Yes.
And in the light, like people are like, did you change something about yourself? Or like, why do you look so different? It's the lip injections. But really it's like, cause I know like a lot of people do get depressed and sad about all of the other things that like there is a lot of things that we can't change, right? Let's talk about that for like 2 minutes. The things that we cannot control and the things that we cannot change. What is your advice about that?
Coming from a place of acceptance, from I already am happy from within. Although this exterior thing is happening outside of me that may impact me in a negative way, how do I want to look at it? Like what is my perspective on it? Am I going to see this as this is something that's hurting me, or is it something that's outside of me and I have a choice in how I want to look at it?
Yeah.
We always have choice. We like choice is one of our greatest superpowers. So if you want to choose to, and everyone's going through something different, whether this is like a loved one who is sick, or maybe this is you lost your job or something. We all experience those kind of wrenches in life, right? But choose to look at the situation through the eyes of love.
Yeah.
And what can you learn from it? Like what positive thing is this experience teaching you?
Yeah. Yeah, like I love Feel Good Life, and lately he's really been doubling down on look, it's about to be, it is the holidays, and I think we're in this new era of like you don't have to be tied down to your immediate family anymore. Like if you have abusive family members, it's better for your mental health to walk away. It's things like that as well. That it's kind of like if it's really like destroying your nervous system, then it's best for you to not go to that Thanksgiving dinner, or like maybe just don't fly to Baltimore to see that side of the family if they're really you know, destroying you mentally or emotionally or whatever the case may be. I mean, when we are in alignment, all of those negative things tend to kind of like fall into, you just never know how things are going to unravel when you're true to yourself, or like how things are going to fall into place in a more healthy, profound, beautiful way when you're truly like listening to the universe and your guides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. When you are listening to the universe, connected to the universe and your guides, which we always are, I mean, you feel so much supported in life. You can navigate life with ease. You can use your intuition and know like, hey, if I go to this party, if I go to this person's house for the holidays, how is this going to affect me? You can kind of like feel into it a little bit before. But knowing you have tools at your disposal. So say you are around someone who does affect your energy, you can calm your breathing, you can bring in the light, you can respect your boundaries and say, hey, you know what, this conversation doesn't work for me. Can we talk about something else? You know, I appreciate your perspective and your viewpoint. It doesn't really fit mine. Can we, you know, move on from this conversation, right? Because you gotta put you first in your needs. Without you, then there's nothing else.
I have faith that if I truly like give love to certain family members that I don't really like connect with anymore, that they will know and they will feel it. And like that frequency, all it is like me sending them love from this place, as opposed to like stepping into their zone and us getting in an argument, or us having like an altercation, or like having it just be negative energy, because it's like people can only meet you where they're at.
Yes. Yeah.
So I would prefer to just send people love if I know that they're probably not in a place where we're going to connect on a higher level. It's like I don't want to be there for that. So yeah, I think and I'm just like driving that home because I know it's about to be like Christmas, and like all of the little holidays are coming up. Like, even if you don't celebrate Christmas, it's just like this, people are turning on the TV and going, oh God, like everything is reminding all of us of like the family trauma, drama, like all of it. And so just remember, like, you don't have to put yourself through that sadness and that turmoil. You can choose to take a step back and protect yourself from it.
1000%. And that's the best thing you can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't ever have to put yourself in a situation you don't want to, regardless if they're your family, whoever it is. Yeah, you don't have to. And I love what you did with your family, thinking, you know what, if the it's better just to send them love and let them feel it than be in the environment. And that's totally okay.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm like, oh, I got to go home for the holidays, which can always be interesting. But I have learned how to regulate my nervous system. I can be there with my like loved ones and family, and then also know when it's time for me to like leave. But also it's like really being appreciative, because if I look at my life 10 years or 20 years from now, you know, I'll never get this moment again.
Yeah.
And I want to appreciate this person and accept them for everything that they are and love everything about them, no matter if whatever, because one day that they're not going to be here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be here. And just to like, I love them for who they are. And so I know that I'm going to make the most of it. Like,
Yeah.
no, but I love my family. I do. But,
Yeah, exactly. I think, yeah, that's definitely just wear your invisible blanket of protection, y'all.
yeah.
Yes. Like your crystal bracelets or whatever. Like if you, I put crystals in my purse.
Yeah.
Like however I can protect myself at all times.
Right.
Black is a great color for protection. Just all of the little witchy things, and also saging and lighting Nag Champa is my favorite incense.
What is it?
Nag
I
Champa.
don't know that.
Yeah. It's like a staple, like a general, like when you go into like the incense shops, they have like huge boxes of it. It's my fave.
Ooh.
So yeah, just like constantly every single day doing that stuff, and like obviously journaling and I love what we did today is just like speaking it into existence. So
It's so true.
yeah. So where can everyone find you, and where should we look for your books and all of that? Tell the people.
My books and everything. The best way to connect, if you're on social media, of course, Instagram is at Maria Shapley. And for my book, so I wrote a book called How to Breathe and Feel Your Best Now. When I first started coaching, I led with breath work. So I wrote a book in how to incorporate breathing mindset to help you really feel and breathe your best.
Yeah.
That's on Amazon, called How to Breathe and Feel Your Best Now. And then I wrote a children's book because why not? It's fun, and it's called Henry the Happy Horse, and it's about Henry and his adventure on how to incorporate healthy, positive habits into his day to love his life.
Cool.
That's on Amazon as well. And then for coaching, if you're serious about really creating a life you love, you want to, do the inner work, the clearing, learn how to train your intuition and just really change your life because you're in charge. You can go to my website, intuitivecoachmaria.com.
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
That book, I am definitely interested in reading it because that's a whole nother conversation, is the breath work.
My friend Annie and I host a podcast called Empowerment Hour, Spiritual Insights to Personal Growth.
Amazing.
And right now, we do everything on Zoom. So just record on Zoom. She lives in Seattle. And so we just do it on Zoom. We post it every week, but I eventually want to get a setup like this and have it really look amazing.
Is it on Spotify or
Spotify and Apple?
Amazing. Okay, yeah, I will be adding that to my Spotify queue. As we're looking at our Spotify Wrapped, all of your favorite podcasts are on there, and so you guys are going to subscribe to House of Royale. And what was yours called?
Empowerment Hour, Spiritual Insights to Personal Growth.
Empowerment Hour, ... what she said. Anyway, you guys, we love you so much. And I'm so glad that you were here to join us today. Thank you for subscribing and liking and sharing and all of the things. And continue on that personal journey of growth. Believe in yourself. Know that you can. It's already there. It's already in your vortex. All of our dreams are going to come true. 2024 is going to embrace us with open, loving arms. We're here for it. Thank you for being here. Episode 23, House of Royale. And we will see you guys soon. Mwah.